I am Tessa-Marie and welcome to the Morning Blessings. Today is Thursday, February 6, 2025, 7:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with snow in Toronto. Hello Stacy, how are you feeling this morning? It is snowy here, not so cold but snowy, and it's February, so that's what we get. It's such a pleasure to wake up in the morning and have a focus and have something to come to, something to do, because you enjoy sharing, you enjoy giving, you enjoy enlightening and enhancing others, and to use impeccable and exquisite words to talk with people. Thanks, Stace, for that notification for us to pin, so the strangers who drop in know exactly what they're coming to get. It's 8 o'clock, Stacy, and you are here. Let's do this. So, you're going to love this, Stacy, because it is going to say something about your amazing you. Every encounter is a lesson. Every encounter we have in life is a lesson. And encounters that are not only from meeting a new person, or it could be encountering something, but every encounter we have has a lesson. Let's look at the human part of it. So every time you meet someone, you realize you have some experience with them. Sometimes it's me and you, and that's great. Sometimes it's you meet somebody crosses your path, as they would say. And when that person comes in your life, you look at the situation and you're feeling great, or you're feeling hard, or you're having a difficult time. But what we have to remember with an encounter is, what did we gain from it? What lesson? Because every encounter has a lesson. Like meeting people on the internet, on my lives, on Instagram, YouTube, people making comments, I'm making comments, meeting them. And some of these people become friends, and yet you haven't set eyes on them. And that's why, Stacey, I said you are one of those. You and Nancy and Marina and all, there's so many. And Jean, today's Jean's birthday. We have to remember if she comes on to sing happy birthday to her. All of these are encounters that are good. Some of these encounters with humans, they don't last as long. And we get troubled by it. But there's a lesson. And we can say to ourselves, well, good morning, Nancy. So we can say to ourselves, well, I had an encounter with that person. Morning, Jean. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jean. Happy birthday to you. I have a horrible singing voice, but it's okay. The point is, this is the voice I was given, and that's the voice I'm using. So happy birthday to you, Jean, and may you have a fabulous year, and all your wishes or your dreams, goals, and desires become true. I always say wishes are in fairy tale. So what we get is, for the year, is our dream, goals, and desires. So let's go back to our morning blessing topic for today. Encounters. So when we hear the word encounter, as I was saying before, Jean got her happy birthday song, is that we have encounters with people, places, and things. We remember some of them. We remember the worst of them. We do not remember the best of them all the time, but we remember the worst. We have no clue of the best. And those in the middle, they just come and go. But guess what? The thing about our encounters in life, they are there for lessons. They don't have to be a bad encounter for you to have a lesson. It could be, and maybe it's given to you so that you can educate somebody else about your experience, the bad experience you had with this particular encounter. It might not have to do with a human. It could be with an appliance. But look at the three of you that are here. Neither of you have met me. I have not met you. But there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of you. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not remembering what you say to me, what you said, sorry. So perhaps, like you said, you're going away for a month to somewhere warm. I become curious. I ask questions about where you are. It's your birthday. I certainly will not ask Jean how old she is, but I will remember it's her birthday. And the reason why I sing happy birthday, that is a family tradition. And honestly, we all end up laughing so much. We sing happy birthday to each other. And I have some brothers with some voices that are just, oh. My dad had that voice and they all sung like him. And when they begin to sing, you have to put the phone over here or you have to leave it there and walk away. But there's one, like, you hear about Eric a lot. Eric has the most horrible raspy voice you ever heard. But when he sings happy birthday, we start laughing. The last year of my 40s, oh, you'll be wonderful in the next decade. And Eric sings happy birthday and we just, and you're holding the phone. But you laugh. Don't screams it. So it doesn't make any difference, but we do that. It's just a family tradition. Like the one that before we hang up from each other, we say, I love you. It is something that we were taught. So we do all it, I love you. And to be honest with you, when most of us were working and we were rushing and we like, okay, bye. Somebody would call back, you didn't say I love you. And we had to then say it. So that's one of the family traditions that I am sharing. And it's funny though, certain things get shared when certain people are there. There are three of you. Stacy is maybe, no, is she younger than Jean? I don't know where Stacy falls in this thing. Jean and then Nancy. And you're sharing that type of conversation and we're talking about encounters. I always desire to send the best of me to those that I meet. I'm not getting the morning blessings. Are you okay? Well, yeah. Colin is asking a question if I'm okay. Colin, morning blessing is on. Isn't it on, guys? Instagram must be having a sick headache. So I don't know what, Colin is sending that message and she's always there. So, but anyway, you know what? There's a reason for this. An encounter always has a reason. So three of you, it's almost 7 minutes after 8 and others are asking if they're okay. They can't come on. You're here. I'm on Instagram. I know I am. And there comes Rosalind. Good morning, Rosalind. How are you feeling today? So the thing about our encounters is that we form with humans. We can like or dislike them. We can have them in our lives for a time, and then the time is up and they go another way. And that is what encounters are about, right? But we also encounter things. And when we have encounters with things, we have to realize I didn't pop up alive. I had to go to your page. Oh, all right. I don't understand that, but maybe that's what Instagram is. I'm not tech. I'm speaking. That's what I can do. So every encounter is a lesson. To come upon or to meet with especially something unexpectedly. That's what the dictionary said. Also, to meet with a person or thing, especially casual or unexpected. So when we realize encounter is not always a person. It could be a thing, a situation, but we relate more to a person than to a thing or a situation. And when we hear the word encounter, it's always a human. But we encounter energies, circumstances as we go through the day. And that is why it is important, after you have encountered or do something, you pause and reflect on it. Because let's say you met a friend or you met somebody for the first time and you were intrigued, or maybe not. But the lesson there is to find out what is your reflection on that meeting. You bought an appliance and it's not working. You're going to reflect on it, you're going to think about it, you're maybe going to get angry about it, and you're maybe going to share that with the manufacturers, and you will tell friends, do not do this, do not buy this one. Okay, so what about when you have this amazing encounter with a customer service person, and you got what you want, they talk with you, you got the information needed. I was frozen. I don't know what to do, guys. So one of the things we have to do for sure now is to remember to tell them that they were pleasant. And it's an encounter. So I know what we practice and what we do, we get more of. And you guys know that too. So if you are getting all this great service response from this person, at the end of the conversation, you should not reason for me. Okay, good. One and one. You should be able to say, thank you very much. I really appreciate your help. That's a pleasant encounter. Because if it wasn't, 10 times out of 10, we would let them know. We would report them. We would call their bosses. We would find, hi Yoko, good morning. Everybody's saying they have a hard time coming on. Poor Colin cannot come on, so I don't know if we should send her a message and tell her to try again. So we have to turn around and realize that we need to acknowledge encounters. And what is the lesson? What did you learn? Did the person say something? Did you hear something that you can use, that you can reflect on, and you say, no, my behavior, I shouldn't have said that. In the end, I got what I want. That is what encounters have, lessons. And the more we tap and pull on those lessons we get through encounters, the better it is for us. The more we grow, the more we are able to experience and share. I was saying earlier on that we meet people. Okay, so there's 5 of you here. Well, I know Roslyn, I've met her a couple times, and Yuko. 3 of you, the first 3, I've never set eyes on you. But our relationship is unique. We talk after the live. We share. Jean comes to, when I have a workshop, she shows up. Stacy jumps right in. Nancy is in Wisconsin, and maybe I haven't had workshops for a while. But Yuko is here, and Rosalind comes. Once she found it, she came. So that is telling us that it's important that we meet people and we find out what it is they do that makes you feel good. Like when Nancy shares what she does, because she loves to sew. I love all sorts of arts and crafts. I do paint. I do a lot of things. I did more so when I was younger, because we all do it. I made doilies out of crochet. I have a pile here. I don't know what to do with them because people don't have them anymore. And all of that, all of these are encounters. You learn from your encounter and you teach from what you learn. Avoiding an encounter with someone is keeping your mind closed. Some of the encounters or situations are harsh, but you need to go through them. And if you think for 30 seconds right now, and you just close your eyes and think for 30 seconds, the encounters you had all through those years, and now you're standing here, are there some you would change if you could go back and change it? Or are you go, hi Betty, good morning. Everybody's having a hard time joining us today, so I hope it was easier for you. If you go back to those encounters with people, situation, challenges, right? Would you like to change them? Or have you learned the lesson from those encounters that shape you how you are today. Think about that. That is one of the things we have to realize. Those encounters, good or bad, I'm talking to Stacy. I know she's had some really horrible encounters with people she went out and helped. She put herself on the line and they just walked away and left her holding the bag. It's sad to listen to that and knowing both of them. But Stacy learned a lesson which she shared with me, and I'm saying she had that, and I told her, no, you know better. No, you know that you can help, but you don't have to go overboard. And it's not, I told you guys a story of an experience I had within myself in my meditation. I have no idea. I go into meditation, boom, just like that, and I'm in another country, another time, another place. I have no idea why that happens to me, but it does. So this particular day, I don't know where I was. I have it written down. I was sitting somewhere, and it's like I'm looking at a movie. The movie represents a young woman, which I know is me, slender and wearing this long, light cotton dress. But there was a man with her, almost like a teacher, a bodyguard, I don't know. There was this man with me. In this vision, I have a pouch in my hand. And we're walking through a marketplace, a city, very busy, bustling, but old times, right, long ago. Because of the way I was dressed and him was dressed. And so this beggar comes to me, and this pouch, I'm going to empty it into his hand. And he said, no, take that. Another one came, and I went to do it again. No. And then the third one came, and he didn't look like he needed anything. And he, for some reason, he allowed me to give him all of what was in that pouch. And then the lesson was, it is not because somebody appears to need your help like that, in this case of giving money or stuff, that you do it. It's not everybody that looks that way that needs it. And sometimes the person that looks like they don't need it is the person that truly needs it. So that was the lesson I learned from that vision all those years ago. Okay, now I am bold enough to talk about them. Before they will criticize me. But no, I don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't care. Sorry, guys. So I repeat them. But then, fast forward in life, I started to observe people doing just that. They always give to the poor, or they always give to the people they think that have less than them. And if they know, or they believe, or they purport that you have more than them, they will not give you a gift, not even a pin cushion. And they will tell you, why buy for you? You can buy whatever you want. So, I have a cousin named Hazel who is a doctor in Dominica. She studied here at the Royal College of Surgeons. She's fabulous. And I was visiting, and her husband was saying to me, you know, Tessa-Marie, every time these people ask us to come to dinner, they always ask us to bring the lobster, the shrimps, and the champagne. So I said, wow. And what do you think? I said, well, why do you bother going? Why don't you just stay here and enjoy your mortgage? Stay in your house, buy your lobster, buy your shrimp, buy your champagne, and just, that's what they do. When we invite them, he says, they say, I'm not bringing anything. You guys have everything. So you see? So we have to choose. So because the person looks wealthy, that doesn't mean they won't appreciate something that you've given them. Because when you remember, I always have to quote scripture. When Judas said to Jesus, when the woman had bought oils and she was anointing him with it, and he said that money could have been used to take care of the poor. The parables of that man was just astounding. He said, the poor will always be with us. meaning I won't always be there. But all of you here are smart enough. You have a lot of memory. Isn't that true even today? All that money that always spent to take care of those that we believe that are less fortunate than us. And it's like constantly doing it, so it's there. So when you feel like giving, like something that if somebody you haven't had an encounter with, give it. Use what you have learned to help others. Tell your story. So somebody will know. When Stacy said that to me, I was able to look at the picture, right? The picture here of that person she stepped up to over and over. And her. And how it was expected. And then that taught me another part of scripture. The psalm that says, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. I think it's 122 or 121, right? He made heaven and earth. That's where my help comes from. So my help is not coming from another human being. If it comes, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you let them know. But because, hello, Angela, sweetie, how are you feeling this morning? But because you are the person that gives to others, you should not expect what you to come from them. It's going to come from your Creator. Your chalice has to be filled from the top, so you can empty it into those that you feel you want to empty it into. And that is how it has to be. Because we learn from those experiences. We know again in scripture, it is said that he went and what did he do? He healed 10 lepers, but only one came back to say thank you. So there's so many ways for us to, so you don't get angry when you have an encounter and you have treated somebody lovely and they turn back and they reciprocate horribly. Let it go and leave it alone, because your thank you comes from a higher power. Your grace comes from a higher power. So encounters comes with people, places, and things. And we have to remember that. Sometimes you plan a vacation and you go on this vacation and it is more than you expected. You are wonderful. And maybe you had a vacation another time somewhere else and the encounter wasn't pleasant. Which one are you going to talk to about the most? Many times we talk about the worst. But again, as I said, every encounter has a lesson, something to learn. To come upon this or to meet with, especially unexpectedly, also to meet with a person or thing, especially if it's just casual or unexpectedly, unexpectedly you had this experience. So where we are standing now, each of you, where you're standing in your young years, your older years, your middle years, ask yourself this question. Have your encounters shaped you right now? Because when somebody asks me, I don't know why they ask that question, they should just void it. What would you change if you could? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because if you alter one thing in the past, if you could and if you did, you wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be who you are. And as you grow and as you realize acceptance of self, we are encountering a new us. Acceptance is for the first time meeting unexpectedly Nancy, Angelina, Betty, Yuko, Roslyn, Jean, Stacy, unexpectedly meeting those people. That's what it is. You just met you. And you love you. And you feel good. And you smile and you wonder, why am I smiling? Am I going simple? Am I going mushy in the head? Because all of a sudden, you smile. You're quite smiling. Why? I don't know. I find myself almost walking into the door smiling. And then I feel great. I feel happy. I feel joyful. So, you encountering yourself is you have to make it pleasant. For the first time, I'm getting to know me. Although T.S. Eliot said it in a different way, when he said, man shall never cease from wandering, only to arrive where they started and know the place for the first time. Powerful words. So to know yourself for the first time and to be able to face the encounter of self with all of its perfect imperfection, like the songwriter said. You encounter true you. Now, reflect on that. Do you like who you are today? And do not ask yourself, and when somebody dare to ask you, Betty, what would you change about your life if you could? You have to accept you. There is not going to be another Betty. You have to say, nothing. And I believed it, but it really stuck with me when they asked that question of Sidney Poitier. And his words were, to do that would have to alter stuff. And if I did that, I would not be who I am today. And I love who I am today. Encountering of self, meeting self for the first time unexpectedly, and loving self, and accepting self, with all the cracks and bruises and shingles and shinkle and what you call that thing? Wrinkles, I call them shingles, Irish, what I mean? And all these things, to love that. Hi Lisa, good morning, how are you feeling today? So to be in the moment, and for the first time, you have gone through life and you're sitting here, Tessa-Marie, in May I'll be 79, and to have met myself, the encountering of self, the real self, and realizing it does not matter what anybody thinks. I have encountered myself for the first time unexpectedly. I did that a long time ago. But along the way, I got lessons. And those encounters were sometimes, I told you guys of the horrible situations at work where I worked, where Betty and I worked, where Colin and I worked. And the thing is, we had these horrible experiences, but they helped us to be who we are today. Just as the wonderful experiences helped us to be that. So if you're going to change one, you got to change the other. So what you have to do, and the best way to do it, if you haven't encountered yourself and you doubt that you are perfect just the way you are, that you're good enough, and you have not encountered who you are, I'll tell you, thank you, Betty, I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. Take 10 minutes. I know 10 minutes is long, but take 10 minutes for once today and reflect on you and feel the strength, the determination. This 5 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. I had no idea. As Yuko, she can tell you. Yuko and I, we were just hitting our heads. We're doing the Sunday self-care show now for 5 years. Besides that, we started everything at the same time and we're still going. So the encounter of meeting Yuko has brought me and given me more strength, more confident. Repeating what I do every day, it gave me more courage to stand there and speak and improve. I have improved through consistency, but the encounter of self is what is important. All what we meet outside of us is amazing. It's when we meet us, our true self, and we stand on the shoulders of ourselves, and we are proud to say, I am good enough, I did my best, and that's all that there is to say. But you have to acknowledge self. You must meet self. You have to tell self, hey, you are good enough. And you know what you will experience. If you dare go there, you might cry. When you really meet you and you realize you are accepting the encounter, all of a sudden, unexpectedly, you found out who you are. The minute that happens to you, if you are really in the right emotional state, you will cry. not because you're sad, but a cry of gratitude. Oh my God, I finally know who I am. And when you know that person, make sure you avoid the persons that will tell you you're not good enough. Because, you're welcome, Yuko. If you do not acknowledge, as Yuko said, yourself as good enough, you will go back to that person and to be fed by them. You didn't hear in scripture that the people that did not say thank you, that Jesus went to look for them and say, you didn't say thank you? Hey, he didn't. He didn't tell you I chased them down the street. He said one came back and said thank you. One came back. You can imagine that. So I have a sister-in-law that was a little bit, whatever. And one day, sitting on my kitchen table, you know me, I have an answer for every soul, or plaster for every soul. She said to us, my brother, her husband, should love her more than he loves his mother. First love her, then their children, then the mother. I said, whoa. I said, I thought the love that you guys have is not the same kind of love he has for his mother. And then, she still is not pleasant. And she said something to me. And she said, and I looked at her and I said, I'll tell you what. I said, fortunately for my mother, she has 5 sons. But for you, you only have 1. Just 1. So if my brother decides not to interact with his mother because of you, she still has 4 more. But if your son, because of his wife, decides not to interact with you guys, you don't have any left. So you see what I mean? I cannot reject that encounter in the kitchen table in 1989. I can't. It was an encounter with a lesson that I'm sharing with you guys today. So you see, she's still alive. They still live on the land my dad gave them to build a house when they retired to Dominica. And when she wanted money and my mother said no, she said to my mother, when you die, you could take it with you. So, a lesson learned. So, what do you do with that? I know now, so I just have to leave that person alone. Just like Jesus left the other 9 and walk away. So all encounters have things. They have lessons to learn. Every encounter. Do not look at your bad encounter and think it was so bad that it's killing you. Do not do that. Because then you're giving power to that. Even if your children, my brother in this case, decided to walk away from my parents, what difference does it make? He chose to do that. He walked away. And that was my mother. She told me, and I just said, well, what can you do? She said, I know. I just left it alone. I realized whatever. So when you have encounters with people, it doesn't always have to be a stranger that does that to you. Your son, your daughter can decide that they don't want to deal with you. And now that he's older, he's 81 on the 9th of February, he suddenly is trying to get in touch with those that are down there. I can't do this, come and help me. I can't do that, come and help me. Really? Encounters. Make sure they make you stronger. Do not look at an encounter with a person and think it's only the worst of it. The lesson you learn is for me never to speak about anybody like that or to say things, have the audacity to say that. Anyway, but it's just encounters. So look at your encounters. But every encounter you have had in your life shapes the person you are today. And the most important encounter you can have is to find out who you are for the first time and love you. Have a great day. Wonderful topic for today. So, I moved everything, just the chair. So, let me see who's holding on for dear life with me and my long thing. Betty, Nancy, Stacy, Yuko, Jean, Lisa, and Roslyn. Thank you, wonderful human beings, for staying there. Understanding now, this is amazing. Understand now, this is thank you. You should say what you understand, Roslyn. So I can say thanks for acknowledging. I have to. You're right there all the time. I love you all. Have a fabulous day from Jean. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stacey said, I feel the same about my life has changed so much in a great way. I love you. I love who you are to Tessa. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Betty, for that thing. Yes, we're supposed to learn from them. You cannot change them. No, we can't. So it's important that we make sure we acknowledge those experiences, for they help shape who we are. So guys, today's Thursday. At 12, I'm going to be on YouTube. So if you have the time, join me. I didn't send, you should send that thing out, because I'm always forgetting to send the notification out. So yeah. So see you guys. If you have a moment, drop by. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm sure there's something I can get. So I'll just go into the moment and see what the universe wants me to speak about today. Have a great day. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm happy and grateful that I have you guys as friends and I can talk to you guys and you can talk to me. Have a great day. I have to go find my friend Colleen. She's lost somewhere in the internet. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.